generations, the Gibbon and Rathcard families had a blood feud. It was never about business.
Your son is trespassing.
It was personal.
Mary Rathcard.
Ben Gibbon.
Do I need to explain to you why this is unacceptable?
End it.
It was an instant scandal.
You take care of my problem, I'll grant you my daughter's hand.
Take care of him.
Looks like me and you gonna dance. How do you wanna die? I wanna die in a gunfight.
Rick Hom here for Hollywood First Look. Today, I'm with Collin Schiffli, and we are talking his movie, Die in a Gunfight. So the title is Die in a Gunfight. But as I'm watching the movie, I was like, you know what? This movie actually, it's a love story.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't let the name fool you. It's definitely it's an action romance. You know, it's for all minds. Anyone looking for action, anyone looking for a little love, and like you said, fun. It's definitely at its core playful. But it is a love story. It's heartfelt. The core of it is a romance, you know, something that we're all familiar with.
So something that was cool about the directing style, and normally I get to see this in documentaries, and I think they use it because they don't have the footage, but you went to like an animation style to kind of start the story, and then you went back to live action. So I don't know if that was already in the script or if that was like your idea as you like started like reading the script and saying, hey, this is how I want to do the movie.
Well, the script is really bold, and I knew that I wanted to really play around with all the self-aware movie tropes, you know, the freeze frames and split screens and narration and stuff that, you know, has become cliche, but that's the point. Like, this is a kind of a meta movie in that way. And it's funny because we didn't originally have the idea to do the animation until we were in post, and we were editing and kind of you know, there's stuff because of budget limitations that we were like, well, we'll figure out how to cross that bridge if and when we need to. And it came down to, we were editing and the pandemic hit. So we were like, okay, now how do we go film this stuff? So we couldn't, you know, we were like, let's keep toying around with it. And then I think Andrew, the writers, had the idea to be like, he was like, what if we find some animators who could tackle this? Because, you know, they're working, maybe they can work from home, whatever. And that way we can still kind of fill in those gaps. So in a way, it's like you said, like with documentaries, you kind of have to fill in the gaps accordingly. We just fortunately had the luxury of, you know, for us, that was the icing on the cake. It was like, wait, what are we missing? Animation. We need animation to kind of go with all the bells and whistles that the movie has. So it worked out really well in our favor for many reasons.
So your original intention was to do live action for those scenes?
Potentially, yeah. It was weird. I knew we wanted, the scenes had like such elaborate set pieces, and it was very, you know, the narrator walked you through it. So it came to mind. There was different ways that came to mind, you know, ways to approach it. And I knew I wanted something that was outside the box. Just we didn't know until we were fully in editing how far we wanted to take it.
Speaking of narration, that's Billy Crudup, who's awesome. So I was watching and I was thinking, do you have the movie mostly completed and then you bring him in, or did you shoot, or was it the opposite way?
We had it mostly completed and we brought him in. Originally, we had our lead, Diego Boneta, who kind of tells the movie from his point of view. And it was something that we were like, you know, what if we bring in kind of the voice of God thing, and who has that kind of very tongue-in-cheek kind of sound when you hear them? And he came to mind, and he, you know, he luckily liked the movie and was down to do it. So he kind of, it was a hybrid of that, but he definitely came on after the movie was done. Directing
is a tough job. But when you have a script that's built by the writers of Ant-Man and the Wasp, yeah, and then you have this cast, you've got, you know, Alexandra Daddario, Justin Chatwin, you know, you've got Diego, you've got Emmanuel Shariki, Travis Fimmel. You go to set, does it make you feel a lot better to say, okay, I've got all the right pieces, so I should be able to make a good movie?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And for me, yeah, it's just like you said, from crew to cast, I was just like in heaven in terms of the talent I had around me, and the ideas they were bringing to the table. But at the same time, the overwhelming aspect of, wow, now I have an ensemble cast. I have bigger toys to play with, which means more things to mess up. And, you know, you never have enough money. And what people, I want people to know is that this is still a passion project. It's still a kind of love letter to cinema. And it is on the smaller end of the budget compared to a lot of the movies we're emulating.
The one thing that I think is hilarious, he's a great addition to the cast, is Travis Fimmel. Like his scenes are like probably the best scenes like in the movie for me. But the funny thing is, it's his haircut. And I covered Raised by Wolves, and I know that the mullet is kind of the style for that TV show. So did it add when he comes to set? Are you like, yeah, this works, or yeah, let's just go with it? Because it's just it's like it's out there.
It's funny. I mean, I swear when he showed up, he had all these thoughts on having his character paint his nails and have a little earring and have his hair. So he kind of came prepared with that. And if you were to see his notes, I'm glad you liked his performance, because he's my favorite character in the film. And if you were to see his script, it was covered in crazy notes and drawings and doodles. And so he had this preconceived idea of who he wanted this character to be. And they started cutting his hair like that the day he showed up. And I was like, okay, like, I guess that you're the wild card. So I feel like this at least is in the right step, the step in the right direction for who Wayne is. So I let him kind of run with it.
The movie is Die in a Gunfight. You can find it in theaters and on demand now. Until next time, I'm Rick Hong, and you've been watching Hollywood First Look.
Do you have a death wish? Something that excites you?
Dude, it's pretty much conform or die. Honestly, I'd rather die.
Put the fear of God in it.
Will try to stop us.
I'll protect you.
For how long?
For as long as you want me to.
How about forever?